Jessica, I wanted to ask you about digital investment in this whole period. Everything has changed. Opportunities have changed. New media has come up. Pricing has changed. Give us your thoughts about sort of the impact of the pandemic and how it's changed the marketplace from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of big things. I would say in general, the trends that we're seeing now during the coronavirus are trends that we had been seeing prior. They're just accelerated at a much faster pace. So things like, a shift to streaming platforms where consumers are spending more time on streaming platforms versus on linear TV, more consumption of video content on social platforms. Again, that was happening before. It's just accelerated now. From an advertiser standpoint, seeing more of an investment in digital platforms, specifically in programmatic and audience buying. It was happening before, it's accelerated now because some of the flexibility and efficiencies you can get in certain places. So the trends were happening, they continue to happen through the coronavirus and will be post-coronavirus, obviously.
So what kind of new opportunities are coming up from sellers, opportunities for you guys to buy into?
There's been a lot of interesting and creative opportunities we've gotten, which is great. All of these last minute put together digital sponsorships, whether it's, Graduate Together, which is YouTube has a package, or some of the Global Citizens concert, whether it's working directly with the content creators or working with a social platform to surround other content around those themes. It's been interesting. Obviously, all of the publishers we work with are putting together helpful information, different types of editorial, maybe even with the lack of sports on linear TV, they're putting together packages of old sports content or new ways of looking at sports, and advertisers have definitely been interested in leaning into that in the absence of some new content on linear TV.
So Jessica, let me ask you about the brands, your clients, the clients of GroupM, their expectations, what they're doing, how they're managing spend. The whole creative thing has changed. Obviously, the creative that they have or they don't have. But a lot of folks are getting together actually later this month at the NewFronts to talk about brands dealing with this and sort of pivoting. What are some best use cases that brands that you've seen, and what is some advice that you share with your clients?
Yeah, we've seen really great examples across all of WPP, and Mark Reed and Christian have talked about this a lot, about our clients really coming together, making the best of a really tough time, whether it's donating some of their airtime that they maybe couldn't get out of to a PSA, or we have clients, Uber is a great example. At Mediacom, obviously their business is suffering now, but they've continued to invest in the space with messaging about how consumers should be acting in this time. A lot of our clients are donating time, adjusting their creative messaging to be, number one, more sensitive to what's going on in the world, but also to make sure that they're being responsible, they're being socially responsible in a time where that's most important. Obviously, business is important, but we all have a role to play in making the world a better place. And I think we've all been really proud about the way our clients have stepped up in that sense.
And looking past this thing, whenever we're past it, I wanted to ask what your thoughts are about, how this whole situation has accelerated digital media in a good way or a bad way, or the media industry more broadly, and investment, and maybe some thoughts you could share with us.
Yeah, as a digital person, to me, this is, like I said earlier, it's accelerated all of the trends we had seen, and it's really forcing clients to take a hard look. Clients and buyers internally, we've had to do a lot of not reflection, but we've been forced to come together to look at things a little bit differently. So, we always knew that streaming was going to overtake linear TV, and I think I saw a recent number in Q4 of 2019. So even pre-coronavirus, there were more adults 18 to 34 watching streaming video than linear TV. Given the challenges in production, we need to think about that as a real option to either replacing linear GRPs or extending linear GRPs to reach younger audiences. I'm really excited that, I can't tell you how many requests I've gotten from, whether it's an internal person via a client, what opportunities does YouTube have, or does Twitter have, or does Facebook have around the things that we're used to buying on TV? So we're really open to looking for these alternative platforms for content. And we've also had some really good conversations internally about programmatic. When this all happened, I'm sure you've heard, there were some efficiencies that could be found on certain types of inventory in the programmatic space. Not all, but certain. But we've all, in service of our clients, taken a look at what we're buying, whether we're buying it direct or programmatic. Are there efficiencies we can find in programmatic for video, for display, for even audio, that we maybe weren't having such cohesive conversations before, or it was just the beginning of the conversations, and now we've all really leaned in to look at things really cross-channel.